This is the Tigers Postcast, your instant game reaction for the Detroit Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, that's more like it. I think we can all agree that this type of game was much needed. Welcome into a live Locked On Tigers Postcast. I am your host, Jake Riepma. You can follow me on Twitter at Jake_Riepma. And the Detroit Tigers knock off the Pittsburgh Pirates 7-3 behind a power surge. How about it? 4 home runs, 2 of them from Javier Baez. We'll say something nice about Javier Baez on this episode of the Locked On Tigers Postcast. We'll also dive into Mize's start and how good the bullpen was and exactly what this means in terms of continuing to create that distance between the Detroit Tigers and the rest of the American League Central. So come along. It's a live Locked On Tigers Postcast. And as always, we thank you for tuning in to your post-game headquarters, free and available wherever you get your podcasts. And of course, all on YouTube as well. Go ahead and like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you're new around here, we like to have a lot of fun. We'll have our biggest talking point, our turning point, and of course, our player of the game as well. And how can you not have a lot of fun when you have the best team in baseball? It's a beautiful night at Comerica Park. And even though the Tigers offense and the power surge kind of came alive late, it was still a welcome sight. And that home run from Riley Greene, oh my goodness, that was going to end up in the Miller Lite party deck. I mean, that's about as far of a home run as you will see. So let's begin with our biggest talking point. And when you think about this Tigers 7-3 win, back to 20 games above the 500 mark, this is what we're going to be talking about.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Tigers shake off some early, rough, sketchy defense and another error from Javier Baez and turn in a really good performance. And when you start to think about this Detroit Tigers team and you get through the dog days of summer, or you're working through the dog days of summer, I know it's only June, but these are the type of expectations that you have for a Tigers team that is proven to be among the elite. So when Javier Baez makes an error early on and it leads to a Pittsburgh Pirates run, you fully expect him and the rest of this team to pick him up and bounce back. And that's exactly what you saw. Wenceel Perez getting in on the action with a home run and an RBI triple. Guys just doing what it takes to compile a winning effort. And the depth of this roster shows time and time again that it's somebody new, what feels like each and every night. And again, based on what the weekend was, and I think the off day yesterday came at a great time, an opportunity to kind of cleanse and refresh after a really disappointing weekend series at home against Cincinnati. And again, maybe I'm alone in this. I don't think I am, but it just is what you expect from this Tigers team, the bounce back. This is not a team that's going to string together a losing streak. They're going to bounce back. They've got stoppers. And tonight it was Mize, a quality start, 6 innings, just the 2 earned runs, and the offense does enough to get the win. So as always on the Locked On Tigers Postcast, we love your comments. It's a collaborative environment. We're commiserating, commemorating, whatever it may be, rallying around one another. And after a win on June 17th, I expect to see some positive comments. And we begin with Gary Myers, who says, Javi, boom, boom. Nice way to make us forget about the air. Indeed. And I know a lot was made on the telecast and on the pregame about Javi's 10-year service in Major League Baseball today. It seemed like there was a lot of celebration around that. And I admit, of course, you're aware of that 10-year service time in Major League Baseball, but I didn't realize it was as celebratory. And maybe that's not fair to say, but when a guy goes out and has a big game like Javier Baez did, the 10-year service, and it's on the 10-year service anniversary, it becomes more of a talking point, and how fitting that he fields the final out and tosses it over to first to retire the Pirates for good in this one. So other notes, I thought the bullpen, wow, really, really good. And at one point, I believe 11 up, 11 down. Someone double check me on that. I don't have the box score right in front of me. I could flip over to it, but really really, really good. Chase Lee, and it wasn't always a blowout situation. This was a 1-run game up until the Tigers started to break it open a little bit there with the, Javier Baez homers in the 5th to tie it at 3. Then you get Wenceel Perez on the triple to right to score Riley Greene to make it 4-3. And then in the 7th is when Baez homers again to make it 5-3. And then the Riley Greene exclamation point with the 2-run homer that traveled 436 feet. Insane. His furthest home run of the season. But some of the bullpen guys pitching in some high leverage 1-run situations. And again, Chase Lee does really well in his inning, did not allow a hit and got a strikeout. Same with Tommy Kahnle, and we've come to expect that from Tommy Kahnle. And then Hannafy to close it out. Not technically a safe situation, obviously, but to shut the door in the 9th. So Casey Mize moves to 6-2 with the quality start, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, and 4 strikeouts. Now, all of that said, this is the type of series that you want to go and of course, take 2 out of 3, but get a little greedy going for a sweep. Why not? I mean, the Pirates, a team 15 games under 500, and yeah, you're going to have to face Paul Skeens, but you got Skubal going tomorrow. There's the report of inclement weather perhaps in the area, potentially, so hopefully Mother Nature cooperates, and the Tigers get a chance to go out and take the first 2 in this series. Now, winning the first game of a series, that's something we talked about over the weekend, because after Friday night's game, it was just par for the course. I mean, it's what this team continues to do. They just win series openers. And unfortunately, in the Red series over the weekend, we all know what happened with Cincy coming to get the final 2 and taking that series. But the Tigers, I feel as if that weekend series served as a wake-up call. And if I'm not certainly projecting this, but up to this point, the sweep from the Dodgers and then a couple of other, I think of losing 2 out of 3 to Houston in Houston. But other than that, hard pressed to find, maybe the White Sox split not too long ago where you only take 2 of 4, albeit on the road. But that Cincinnati Reds series, as disappointing of a 2-game span as we've had in this young season. So I think it's a testament to how good this Tigers team is and how consistent they are and how they refuse to really let any kind of losing streak compile and materialize. So more comments to get into. I got a little distracted there. Only got into one. Jason Walter says, happy, say something nice about Javi offense day. Yeah, I'm glad you specified with the offense there, because I was not saying anything nice about Javi after that error early on that led to a Pirates run. Gary Myers, wow, 9 home runs at this point for Javi. Played great center field when needed. Smartest player on the team. Love it. Mucho respect, Javi. That's fair. Listen, I don't make enough about that, admittedly, and it's so funny the way all of this works and the irony at all of it, and I'm so happy to be wrong. And I don't think I was wrong for the criticism of Javier Baez for his beginning portion of the tenure with the Tigers, and really, and I apologize, I don't have the exact number. I can't place it memory-wise that this is his 3rd or 4th year with the Tigers. Someone have to help me out with that. But the first 3 years with that contract and how poorly he's played, I think everybody was justified in their disdain for Javier Baez. But the turnaround has been absolutely impressive and really one of the best stories in baseball. So you got to give it up to Javier Baez. You got to. And I'm happy to be wrong and happy to give it up for Javier Baez. Rufus T. Cat is up next. Wenceel, for the millionth time of me saying this, is my favorite Tiger. Also, happy Javi Day to those who celebrate. Yeah, Jason Benetti and Andy Dirks having a good time declaring this Javier Baez Day on June 17th. So there you have it. Demetrius McNeil is up next. That's one way to bounce back from an awful series loss to the Reds and win game 1 over the Pirates. Good deal. The dude commenting, great bounce back game. If anybody is in the chat is going to be at the game tomorrow, I'm sorry, but I'm praying for rain out because I'm going Thursday and I want to see Skubal versus Skeens. There you go, the dude. There you go. Yes, that is, there's potential for that, which would be a lot of fun. As always, anybody at the game, let me know in the comments. I always love hearing about everybody's Comerica Park experience. YouTube users up next. Great job tonight by our Tigers, back in the win column. Indeed. Gary Myers, Jake No Beard, did you break up with the Amish wife? That you're spreading rumors, Gary Myers. My fiance, not Amish. In fact, not even close. She's got, we don't need to get into all that. She's beautiful. How about that? But yeah, I cleaned up the beard a little bit. It was getting a little bit long there. So anyways, moving on. I got to be careful on them. Remember, there's no filter on these comments. There's no producer. Braylon Dennis, El Mago is back, baby. There we go. Javier Baez feeds families. Make him an all-star. I don't know quite that, but yeah, that's a good way to put it. Okay. Gray Matter says, nice to see the bullpen keeping zero traffic on the bases. Tigers haven't been able to win game 2 in their past 5 series. Time to change that trend. Good point. Good point from Gray Matter. We talked a little bit about it, but I didn't realize it had been 5 consecutive series in which the Tigers do not win the second game of the series. So we'll see tomorrow night, or as Gary put it, perhaps with a rain out, there is potential. I know they mentioned that on the broadcast. Okay, let's continue to keep the lights on at Locked On Sports, and we'll be right back with our player of the game, our turning point, and our look ahead to tomorrow next on a live Locked On Tigers postcast. Hey, this episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is brought to you by Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site that's made for the skilled trades. Supply House. Whether you're into plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is the reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website, well, guess what? It's packed with helpful resources and the latest product information to help you get the job done right. Plus, with a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. And if you need help with an order, well, guess what? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, how about their free Trade Master program that offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order? Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage, and now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program today at supplyhouse.com/TM, supplyhouse.com/TM, and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com, supplyhouse.com, promo code SH5 for 5% off your first order. Today's episode of the Locked On Tigers postcast is also brought to you by Open Phone. If you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time you had a service emergency like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you wait? No. You called the next one. That's why having a reliable business line is so important. And that's why you need Open Phone. Open Phone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or computer. And if you're juggling 2 phones, not so fun. I used to have to do that myself. Just keep the business and personal calls separate. Open Phone solves that instantly with the easy-to-use app. In fact, your whole team can share one number and respond to customers like a shared inbox. No more, hey, who's handling this? Yeah, you're all on it with Open Phone. Open Phone is offering Locked On Tigers postcast listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. That's openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. If you have existing numbers with another service, Open Phone will port them over at no extra charge. Open Phone, no missed calls, no missed customers. We're cruising right along on a live Locked On Tigers postcast after a 7-3 victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates, back to the 20 games above 500 mark. And don't look now, but the Tigers could have a double-digit lead in the American League Central if all goes well tonight. Now, depending on when you're listening or when you're watching, that may not be the case. So as always, anything I say, just, don't crucify me if it doesn't always come true. Just relax a little bit on that. And I know everybody in the comments, hey, get it right, Rima, come on. You're killing us. Let's get into our turning point.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
For this one, you look at where this game turned in the home half of the 5th, into the home half of the 6th, and then the 3 spot in the 7th. Those middle innings, the Tigers went from trailing in this one. Casey Mize was able to compile the 6th inning and finish the quality start. Bullpen picks him up from there. And how about the offense and the extra base power that we saw on display in those middle innings? Javier Baez hits a homer. Then it's Wenceel Perez to give the Tigers the lead. Baez home run tied it at 3. And then another Javier Baez home run to left to give the Tigers the 5-3 advantage. And I know while we're talking about that 7th inning, you got to mention that towering, obliterated ball by Riley Greene to make it 7-3. So the Tigers' power surge combined with solid pitching, a quality start, and excellent bullpen work is where this game turned in favor of the Detroit Tigers to earn the win. How about our player of the game?
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Tough choice in this one, but I guess when Jason Benetti declares today Javier Baez Day, we got to go with Javier Baez. And why not? On his 10-year service anniversary, he goes 3 for 4, 2 runs scored, 2 RBI, and 2 bombs. You got to love it. Javier Baez, your player of the game. A little honorable mention for our guy Wenceel Perez because he had some huge hits and 3 RBI as well, 2 RBI for Riley Greene. Now I'm just in a giving mood. Everybody's a player of the game tonight. But that's going to wrap things up. And like I mentioned, tomorrow, potentially tomorrow, depending on whether or not, see what I did there, whether or not Mother Nature cooperates. Got a good pitching matchup in Andrew Heaney. The lefty's 3-5 and 3.3 with 3.33 ERA. Whenever it comes to the Pittsburgh Pirates starting pitchers, you just can't take into account their actual record because look at Paul Skeens, for goodness sakes, 1.78 ERA and 4-6 on the season. But Skubal should go for the Tigers tomorrow. The left-hander, 7-2 with a 1.99 ERA, 111 strikeouts. He doesn't walk anybody. Just give him the Cy Young already. He's been that good. All right. Thanks as always for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to be on the air. Great show tonight and great participation as always. I know I didn't get to every single comment on the Locked On Tigers postcast, but I appreciate those comments in the comment box. It helps YouTube recognize that, hey, a lot of people love the Locked On Tigers postcast. And if you love the Locked On Tigers postcast, go ahead and like and subscribe. Let's continue to grow that audience because, hey, the Tigers are the best team in baseball. We got to have the best Locked On audience in baseball and show the rest of those Locked On casts what is up. I'm tired of hearing it from some of the other Locked On pages. Oh, Locked On Braves, Locked On. No, everybody's great teammates at Locked On, but we can grow our audience. I kid. All right. Have a wonderful night. Thanks so much for tuning in. Tigers win at 7-3. Talk to you tomorrow on the live Locked On Tigers postcast. Make sure you check out Locked On Tigers with Scott Bentley. See you.